Could Eva Smith come up as the named character on an Inspector Calls GCSE question? Yes, absolutely she could. She is like the centre of the play. Edexcel have already had a question on Eva Smith in 2024, so if you're with Edexcel, they're not likely to come up this year. AQA have had a sample question on her, but she hasn't come up yet, so I think quite likely for AQA. Educast, she hasn't come up yet. Many students kind of panic at the thought of her coming up because she doesn't actually appear in the play. But there is so much that you can write about for Eva Smith. So here is how I would break down an essay and structure it on Eva Smith. First, it's really important that you think about her purpose in the play. She is a symbol for the suffering of the working class. We're first introduced to her through the inspector's brutal description of her death, which is a catalyst for the action of the play, bringing the inspector to the Burlings' house and making them reflect on and try to take responsibility for their actions. And the inspector's final speech cements this idea of her being symbolic, of representing the suffering of the poor at the hands of people like the Burlings and Gerald Croft. So you can literally write about any of the characters' interactions with Eva Smith, which is what I think makes her actually a really nice character to come up, because you can write about pretty much anything that happens in the play. But I would perhaps divide my next two paragraphs into how she is exploited due to the hierarchical class system in the Edwardian era, and then a paragraph on the mistreatment of women like her at the hands of men, particularly privileged men. So I would think about how Mr. Burling and Sheila's actions that lead to her being dismissed from jobs reflect the unfair power balance of the class system at the time, and perhaps also bring in Mrs. Burling's classist attitudes and prejudice against her, showing that the lives of the working class at this time were entirely shaped by those in power. I would then go on to write about Gerald and Eric's mistreatment of her, which represents the gender inequality at this time and the vulnerability of women, particularly working class women. Gerald objectifies her but completely abandons her when she's no longer convenient to him. And Eric, of course, completely abuses the power that he holds in society as a wealthy man by forcing himself on her and leaving her pregnant with an illegitimate child. And despite all of this, Eva Smith is the morally superior character in the play. She refuses the stolen money, she retains dignity throughout all of her interactions with the Burlings and Gerald Croft, and so Priestley elevates the working classes. They are seen as morally superior despite their disadvantages in life.